Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Twisted Nerve. We're here on our Thursday for our live on VATSIM stream, where we'll be in the CRJ 700. As first flight's going to be SkyWest 6039 from Madison, service to O'Hare. Let's go ahead and let's jump into it. So we got let's see, we got what we got here. Where's my, here we go. There we go. All right, so as you can see, we got a line of storms coming up. We're coming from, where's my window? Sorry, I'm playing musical windows here. So we're coming from, Madison, Wisconsin, which is right here. We have a cell that's coming in, so it should be gone as we're getting out, but we're going to have to beat this line behind. And then we should have rain pretty much all the way. We got winds out of the northwest, about 10 knots out of 300, looks like. So I expect to be landing west as we come into O'Hare, so which means we're going to come across over the lake and in this way, probably on like 27 Center. Right now, there's nobody online. As far as ATC as of right now, maybe for our second flight. As you can see, we got high chance of rain through stationary front. It's going to hold all that kind of north of the north of this front here for a while at least. It's going to slow down this cold front a little bit. Yep. So that's basically it. As far as SIGMETs go, no SIGMETs in this area. And that's significant weather, yeah, for those of you keeping score at home. And then let's see what else we got here. Let's just do type constant moderate chop at 6,000. MSN. Skies broken at 5,500. Moderate wind, light rain, smooth. So I'm not expecting too much turbulence on our way to O'Hare on our short flight over today. So we will keep that in the background. And with that being said, let's hop into it. All right. So right away, here's our diagram for and weather for Madison. there's no real METAR up, so we're going to use there's no ATIS up, so we're going to use the METAR. So we got winds calm, broken at 10, broken at 12, and it's 3013 on the altimeter, so nice light winds, or calm winds really. So we'll probably take the northbound departure out and just loop over to the west or to the east. Okay, over to our flight plan here. Just go ahead and start getting our weights plugged in. We got 59 passengers, and our zero fuel weight estimated is 57.2. We got 57.1, so we will add, let's add 100 to the front here, and block fuel, we'll go ahead and put 6,000 in. And 5 in. That's what I'm going to do. So we're set, and I'll be lazy and just punch that in over here, or I'll just have it automatically go over. Alright, so we're going from KMSN to KORD, and we are 6039. We know we're SkyWest, so we don't really need to put SkyWest in the box, if you know what I mean. Departure, we're going to depart runway 3, right? 32? Oh, 36. I knew it was a northbound one. No. 36, there we go. And as a placeholder, because we're going to have a vector out, because there's no actual departure procedures at Madison, we'll just put our home airport, which is going to be KDCA. And back to our flight plan. We got GART, G-A-R-T-T, GART. Oh, that's not found. Really? Okay, well, we'll go here then. Fight 7, what was it? Champion. And like I said, I think we're gonna go ILS 27 center. I'm just gonna put this in as a placeholder. We can always go back and change it later. I wonder why it won't let me do that. I wonder if I do, maybe because we have KDCA there. That's not gonna let me do that. Let's see, GART, G-A-R-T-T. There we go. Interesting. I wonder why. Okay, anyway, let's go to our performance page. I typically like to use the performance in that actually comes with baked into SimBrief. I think it's just a lot less aggressive than most third-party EFBs. So our selected temp is going to be 46. We'll put that in our flex box here. And per finit page, didn't copy over. I think the page has to be open. Yep. And we're going to be 13,000 on the way over. There we go. 13,000 on the way over. Okay, IC deviation at +4. And 239 at 41. Now I'm assuming, I'm not sure for a fact actually, I'm sure I could look it up, but you know, this is T here, it stands for true. Typically winds aloft is going to be in true when you get the actual report. So I'm assuming the winds aloft here is true, like true course, not magnetic, right? So that's what I put here. Now, it'd be off by about 6 degrees, maybe 6 or 7 degrees. But overall, it's not that much different. And I never really put climb or descent winds in because we don't really get them. Now, what I could do here is I could put, let's see, what time is it now? It's 55 Zulu. I think we could be off in less than 15 minutes, so I'm going to put Um, 0, 1, 10. Now, if it's close to that, I'll just change it. And what that'll do is that'll give us updated numbers on the PFD if we go, or the MFD if we do ETAs, right? It'll give us actual times, and it'll update these times here. All right, perfect. Great, so what I'll do is I'll set these because it's just less work. Let's see, for our speeds we have 28, 29, 28, 29, and 39. That's easy to remember. So they have these. So what we can do, 28, 29, 39. We did everything by 5, so we're going to be, target is going to be target's going to be 47, or 87, I'm sorry. Alright. Going back to our weather really quick. Just 3013. 3013. So might as well set it while we're over here. Okay. Now we're going to start with the overhead panel and get everything locked in. But just to remember, it's 680 is the airport elevation at O'Hare. So we're going to set that when we get up there. Alright, coming down the electrical power side, we'll keep DC service off. Lights are set. This stays here. Isolation valves open. Let's go ahead and start the APU. Hydraulics are set. Dome lights on. Compass is off for now. This is good. We'll turn this on. Alright, now, each one of these clicks is 20 feet. So I like to just scroll a couple times and then look down here. Alright, 520, so we need 160. So that's going to be 8 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 680. There we go. So we're set on the overhead panel now. Coming down. We need some lights. Because first of all, these are way too bright. I find that's usually true in all sims. We need some integrated lighting here. And notice I'm turning everything down. And that's because I want to be actually able to see outside at night. And it's actually easier to see when it's a little bit less bright. Alright, so coming across the panel, we're going to be flight or 130, not flight level. Okay. I'm going to set my speed to V2 plus 20. I just like that more. So that's going to be 59. You know, usually it's V2 plus 10, or some operators do V2 plus 15. I like V2 plus 20. I think that's a real world procedure from Southwest. I think that's what they use, if I'm not mistaken. But that is what I use. Alright, so we're good on this panel. Come down, we have our numbers set. Okay. We'll keep those off. I should have checked those on the pre-flight. Alright, so coming down here, we will set our transponder to on. Yaw dampers are on. Cool. And then our standby is way too bright. See how we can actually see what's happening here? If it was super bright, right, it's to me it's just a lot harder to see everything around the artificial horizon. With this, it's actually easier to see. We got 8.3 on the trim, so I like to just put myself a note here for after start, 8.3. Okay, we're just about ready to start. Okay, we got our radios are set. 119.3 is the CTAF, then we'll go immediately over to Unicom. Okay, that's available. Turn that off. Okay. We'll toggle the jetway. Once that moves away, we'll close the doors. Okay, I think we're just about ready to go. One thing I missed on here is if you press this button here, it puts you in takeoff mode. Pro tip, always have your taxi chart up. Actually 005. Yep, heading 005. And let's see here. Oh. I don't know where the stairs are, but apparently there were stairs. Alright, well, let's get it rolling then. See who's around us. So what we'll do is we'll depart northbound, and then we'll fly a pattern. So it's going to be 185. We'll go nose left, tail right. Okay. Release the parking brake. Bush. Didn't I already tell you? Oh. We'll start it, Will. Say thanks, wing walkers. Yeah, we got it. And because we got a relatively short taxi, we'll turn both engines on. 3 minutes till takeoff. Okay, EGT rollback. Okay, it's just going to slowly go up. Alright, let's do our flows. DC service on. Boom. We'll get that in a second. Over, and then... Alright, we got the pin. Bye-bye. Alright. Okay, coming down, we got nozzle steering on, reverses on, flaps 8. 8.3 on the trim, so we're going to look here. Nose up trim. Okay, it takes a little bit of extra effort to get the nose off the ground because we have a downward, if you look, like the attitude's actually 2.5 or 3 degrees down. So it takes a little bit extra rotation, so we just got to make sure we have a little bit of that nose up trim set. If you don't have the trim set, it's really hard to get the nose off. Okay. Looks like we're about ready, fam. Let's get rolling. And we're off. Generators auto, electrics, bleed valves auto, packs, APUs off, anti-ice is off, as well steering. Alright, flaps 8, flaps are 8. Hit controls, full left, right, forward, backward, right, okay, everything works. Right, brake temp, we're good. Get over at our next crossover onto taxiway Alpha. Lights, camera, and action. Got our lights. Okay, I think that guy's gonna not be in our way. We're actually going to set this to 185. Gives us a nice reference. 8,000 feet is Madison traffic. Sky was 6039 departing runway 36 IFR to the east, Madison. Alright, elapsed timer, lights. Camera. Action. Stand it up to 70. And toga. Back on the center line. There we go. Big bump. V1. Nice, slow and steady. Positive rate. And we're there, so we're going to go heading mode. And we're at 1,000. Speed mode. Go ahead, straight up to 250. South of the field, so we're going to go direct to Gart. Nav. So if you notice in the CRJ, I don't always follow the flight directors. The reason is because in the sim, they seem to be a little bit out of sync. For example, it'll roll you out of a turn too early because it's based on time. It's a raw data thing, I think, on the sim side. It rolls you out of stuff, or it'll have you intercept the localizer really quick, but it's not taking into account the wind. It's only taking into account your speed and your heading. So if you have a headwind, right, you're going to get somewhere slower. So it's going to, so it's setting you at a set bank. So you would turn at a much less angle of bank to get on that turn or on that heading at the right time, and it doesn't really calculate it that well. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at, you can look at it here, right, a little bit, right now that there we go. This little green dot is your actual vector. If you put that green dot on the line, that is what the middle of the crosshair is on the PFD, right? So once it's set, it's fine, right? But when you're in a turn, it'll tend to roll you out early, and then you do the steep turn, you roll wings level, and then you're back to like a kind of shallow turn for a long time, especially like on a localizer for like an ILS. All right. Unicom. Goes down to we'll do 290. We're not going that far. We're also not going that high. Autopilot's on. Go ahead and turn our anti-ice on. Can come off. Hydraulics are set. Insulation valves closed. We are pressurizing. Alright, we're already at our cruise altitude. Distracted for a second. Something came up on VPilot. Alright. Just get back to 320 knots. We could do 330 if we want. It's just a little close to that, to the barber pole, so I'm going to drop it down to 320. So a good thing to do, especially in something like the CRJ where there's no auto throttles, is try to take note of what the fuel flow is when you finally get the trend, which if you look really close, there's a little magenta trend. Like if I pull the throttles way down, see how it grows. And then I add throttle and it stops. So right there is perfectly set. What's that? About 21 to 22 pounds per hour. Right, where you can use N1, which is like 70 to 80 in cruise is typical. Now the air is much denser here, so it's going to take a lot more for the speed, but you get the idea. I know I talked to that whole sterile cockpit time, but I thought it was useful, so. Nice and soupy outside. Alright, so while we're here, we might as well make use of our time. Okay. Alright, a balmy 57 degrees, which isn't bad for spring, but it's 14 degrees Fahrenheit. Broken at 10, overcast at 250. So we're VFR coming in. Rain ended about, what was it, about 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago? 0510. Yeah, so this is 20 minutes old. This is not bad. Let's look at the ATIS, real world ATIS. Arrivals to 7 center, to 7 right, 28 center. Since we're coming from this side, we're going to expect 27 center. We'll probably get off on Echo 2, and then we'll be parking, I think SkyWest parks at the Foxtrot gates. So we'll, for Terminal 2, so we'll probably come down and we'll just cut through on Sierra Papa here, or Uniform in Sierra Papa. Alright, fight 7. There's our champion. That's good. We're already at 13. Remember, we want to be at 10, 30 miles out. So come all the way here, so we're not really going to descend probably until close to Vulcan. Because I think we're going to intercept the ILS like 4,000 feet. That's 13 miles. We need to lose, let's see, we're at 13. We need to lose 9, so 27 miles. Add 5 for the turn. 17. Yeah, probably like Kirk, like when we get on downwind, we'll start our descent. Yeah, it's saying here, but I'm not going to descend there. Fights at 11? Did I miss that? Oh, I did miss 11, I'm sorry. So actually, yeah, 11 minus 4, 7. 21 miles, yeah, so probably right before Vulcan or at Vulcan, we'll just descend faster. We'll do more than a 3-degree glide slope. Alright, no problem. So 11, we're at 13, so that's 2,000 feet. So 2 times 3 is 6, so 6 miles before fight, we'll start our descent. Which may be different than this. That's why I have these numbers up, which to get to it, you just go here, and then you click this button. What's it saying? 13 miles. If you want to take some of the thought out of it, if you put the VNav here, it'll just tell you what to do, but we're not going to do that because we're going to go sweat mode. This number will come up shortly. Alright, coming up. Ground speed is 416, so that's about 2,100 feet per minute. Down at 350 or 250. When we get there, as long as it's before fight. 3011. Pretty calm winds for O'Hare. 330 at 7. We're slowing down just a little bit too slow, so get some speed brake in. Our tiny speed brakes on the CRJ. Oh well, they do work though. I don't need those on yet. Oops, wrong one. Wow, what a view. Might as well get our approach chart up. We'll do final. We don't need to go all the way out 20 miles. Alright, this is the ILS 27 Center at O'Hare. Final approach course is 273 and our frequency is 111.9 and minimums is 853 and Driscoll at 2200 is a final approach fix. Touchdown zone elevation is 653, right? And 680 is an airport elevation, so you actually have like a 27-foot gradient. All right, let's go here down Mr. Bridge, climbing 1100, climbing right turn, 4000. Direct to the Charlie Golf Tango VOR, which I'm not sure. Oh, is that Chicago? No, that's OBK. I don't know. Oh yeah, Chicago Heights VOR and hold, which it looks like it would be. What's our speed? There we go. And outbound to Eugene. Let's see. Wait, what? Why am I not? Oh, I see it. It's this here. To Eugene and hold, which would be a direct entry. Actually, yeah, you could do a direct entry. Not a direct entry, this one. Parallel entry. So you fly outbound a minute, turn back in, 45 degrees, hit the fix, and now you're in the hold. Right turns. Alright, not coincident glide path. We've already talked about that before on stream. So touchdown zone crossing height, or threshold crossing height, 75 feet. Here we cross at 56 feet, so we're going to be low if we on the lights if we follow the needles all the way down, which will be visual as a VFR, so we can follow the lights, which means we will cross the threshold when it doesn't say 50. Which I like to cross it at 50, so I usually ignore the lights, but the lights do guarantee that you're not going to hit anything in the final approach segment. Okay, but it's visual, so just look outside, don't hit anything. Easy. Alright, so we'll be between Murph and Jumbo. So we'll go to 4000, we'll intercept, and then we'll start our descent at Driscoll, 273 and 853. Pappy on the left side, Alice 2. Any questions? Great, exciting. It's 853, so we'll go ahead and set our minimums while we're waiting. Why is this taking us to the south side? Oh, 27 center brings us to the bottom. So same sort of thing. We'll just be on the south side. Alright. But I'm not changing the runway, so we're gonna stay at at 27 center. 850 minimums. Now, alright, so this weight here. So what you can do, this is our ground weight currently. That's the 0 fuel weight plus our fuel. Alright, so 61.7. Now, prog-wise, we'll have 3.9 fuel. So that's 500. So it'll be 61.2. 61.7 minus 200 pounds. So if we go back to our flight plan, there's a handy little chart that tells us on our runway analysis the weight, the V-speeds for the weight. So it'll be at 128, 62.5, so 128. Then we take the weather, it's, what was it, 330 at 7, it's like a 4-knot headwind, so it's just automatic 5 knots. So what was it, 128 plus 5, that's a 133 will be our approach speed. So I like to put this just as a scratch pad, 133. Let's just make sure we're not missing anything. We're at fight, nothing else, great. Come down here, tune the radio. 120.75 is the frequency. And those of you that are new to VATSIM, we're on the CTAF now. CTAF on VATSIM is just your tower frequency. All right. So except for some reason here, I think at the big airports they use their real world actual CTAF. 120.75. Let's do a little experiment first since we have time. 120.75. Where do we see that? 120.75. There we go. Interesting. Here it has it as a tower frequency, but they have all these different tower frequencies. So I think they just use that one. So the easiest way to do it is type .ctaf in vpilot, and that is your tower frequency, which is CTAF in on VATSIM. Again, since we're within 30 miles, I like to monitor it, and then once I'm at a reasonable area where it matters for other traffic, I'll start calling my traffic positions. Some people call it really far out. I don't think that's really necessary in VATSIM. That is a beautiful livery, though. I like that. There's an airplane. I think they're probably flying into Midway. Let's find out. Because Midway is that direction. Let's... nope, that's an American going to O'Hare. And they are going much faster than we are. And they are not on any sort of frequency that makes sense. Is that a 9? Yeah, 1229. Interesting. I see Midway. There's Midway. We're going to stay high because they're at 7,000 feet and we're at 11. Interesting. There's O'Hare down there. Hi, O'Hare. .273 was our final approach course, right? Am I right? Chat. 1.9, 273, yep, alright. Lights are coming on. Boom, boom. Yep, we'll leave the nose light for when we're on final. Low. And since we're still in the soup, kinda, we're gonna leave the anti-ice on. Alright. What do we got for temperature? Right, static air temperature is 3, so you really shouldn't turn it up until after what is it, 10 degrees Celsius or 10 degrees? Yeah, 10 Celsius. So once we get on base, that will probably be when we turn it off, which will give us a little bit of power on final. IUYJ. That's right, we got it. 6,000 feet. We'll turn, which will be about a 45 degree from the intercept. Degrees. All right, we're going sterile. So I just want you to keep this in mind. We have a pretty strong quartering tailwind. So we're going to have to take a pretty steep turn to start, but it'll roll us out too early, and then we'll have to like slowly drift onto the localizer. So we're going to make a 45 degree turn. This is actually tracking it pretty well. See the green dot should be on the line with the green middle part. But see, it rolled us out too fast. I don't know what it's doing, so we're going to take over. Just CRJ things. Ha ha ha. I don't know why. See, 4,000. What's our next one? 22, right? 22 when we 10 out at jumbo. So that's when we'll start calling it. So I am hand flying the approach now. O'Hare traffic, Skywest 6039, we're about 12 mile final 27 center O'Hare. And we're about 1 dot, so we'll go gear down. I'm turning the flight directors off because they're basically useless and I don't know what it's looking at. This is a raw data ILS. 133. We'll just go ahead and set our final approach speed. 65 in one, and it should. Let's get back on that LSI. So that was attributed to fixating on something that wasn't the actual localizer. All right, so 1 mile from the final approach fix, which is Driscoll, we'll do our final configuration. O'Hare traffic, sky was 6039, correction, 7 mile final for 27 center, O'Hare. I'm pretty much visual now anyway. I'm not even really using the localizer, so 1 mile out, bring the nose up just a little bit and compensate for that drop. A little bit to the left, we're going to go ahead and correct. Classic O'Hare stutters on my medium range, low range system. Should be fixing that soon, by the way. O'Hare traffic 6039 short final 27 center. O'Hare. Right now I'm just keeping, if I drew like a horizontal line from the lights across, I'm keeping that in the same point in the windscreen.
O'Hare traffic was 8 Tango 4007 base 2% of
400.
You notice we're right on the needles and it's three red. That's what the chart said it would be, so don't freak out.
400. 300. 300. 200. 200. 200. Minimums. 100. Minimums 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Minimums.
Where's that first turn off? It's not lit up on 27 center. So it should be here shortly. There it is. So yeah, it's not lit, but that's right there. Alright, traffic 6039 is clear 27 center. Over here. Stop here, get ourselves configured a little bit. Alright. And strobe can come off, wing can come off, APU can come on. 2, 3. Turn on. There it is.
Or traffic Swiss 8 Tango, tap off on it, Q8 center. Okay.
Yeah, just, I was 1 degree rolled. That was level. I just wasn't like perfectly centered, which caused a little bit of that wing dip. It's very, very apparent on the CRJ. Like if you're not perfectly centered, it, at least on the SEM, it'll get you. But worse landings have happened. Ooh, is ground on? Ground's on. All right. Our ground sky was 6039. Wherever we're at, I can't remember the taxiway.
Sky was 6039, you're on Echo there. Hold short of 4 left and stay parking.
Alright, we'll hold short of 4 left on Echo, and we're parking Fox Gates at Terminal 2.
Alright, Sky was 6039. Continue Echo, Tango Tango, cross 4 left. Hold short 27 left on Tango Tango.
Alright, Echo, Tango Tango, cross 22 right, and then hold short 27 left on Tango Tango for Skywest 6039. Where is this? Where is this? Here we go. That's what I wanted off, so we don't fry anybody on the ground. We don't even need it. So we can cross 22 right, and we're gonna go to Tango Tango and hold short at 27 left.
Oh, last aircraft calling only static.
Alright, we can go single engine taxi. Shh. Yeah, we don't need this on. So Tango Tango is not aligned with the chart as it is on the ground, so it's going to look like I cut across some grass. Just pretend that it's a taxiway.
Okay, ground Swiss 8 Tango on Delta Delta taxi to International.
Swiss 8 Tango, O'Hare Ground, Taxi International via right Papa, Golf Golf into the ramp, and cross 28 right on Golf Golf.
got to hold short 27 left. Is there like traffic?
Swiss 8 Tango Heavy, taxi parking, right Papa, Golf Golf, cross 2A right on Golf Golf.
So technically you're supposed to stop behind these lines, but I think they're in the wrong space. This is really far away.
6039, cross 27 left on Tango Tango, continue Tango Tango, Alpha into the ramp.
Alright, Tango Tango off of the ramp, cross 27 left, Tango Tango, Skywest 6039, thanks. So we're going down
Swiss
here,
8 Tango,
over. There.
Heavy, right Papa.
Alright, so we're going to pretend that this is a taxiway because that is supposed to be Tango Tango. So just pretend. Ha ha ha. What a cool taxiway. And we're back. I'm going to turn the dome light on. And the EFB on. Tango Tango Alpha, so we have next right, and then just all the way around to Foxtrot.
Inbound, Swiss 8 Tango, back with you on Papa Papa for international flight Golf Golf.
Swiss 8 Tango Heavy, continue down Papa, left Golf Golf, cross 2A right at Golf Golf and then into the ramp.
Continue Papa, left Golf Golf, and cross 28 right into the ramp, Swiss 8 Tango.
And I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be like above, but oh well, here we go, we're crossing it. You know, just simulator things. The only thing about O'Hare is every runway seems to be as far from the terminal as possible. Well, that's a livery. Is that a Frontier? Yeah. thing I love about Microsoft 2024 is that on VATSIM, well, I guess it's more VATSIM than 24, but if you have the libraries set up properly, one, there's a lot more liveries that are correct, and two, the multiplayer like view from VATSIM just it looks a lot more realistic. Like things are much more in time. You know, like if somebody bounces, you see it. If somebody lands weird, you see it, which can be a good thing and a bad thing. Original Hilton, by the way. There's no lead in, so we're just gonna kind of guess. We'll park here. Just a little bit off center, that's okay. Alright, we got the AP running. Come off. 15 and 2, we can go ahead and pull the beacon. There we go. Quick, everyone stand up. All right, so here we are, O'Hare. Let's just finish our flow here. Turn the service off. Okay, we can actually turn those back on. And Anti soft. We should have turned that off anyway. Cool. All right. So, really quick flight over to a really quick flight over from Madison to O'Hare. We're going to take a quick intermission, then we'll do another short flight in the CRJ. So I'll be back with you in a couple minutes. All right, folks, we're back. We're going to go ahead and get started on our next leg, which I need to reset here. There we go. All right. So our second leg, we're going from O'Hare to Milwaukee, straight up the coast. We were over here for our first leg down in Chicago. Now we're going back up to Milwaukee. And the main reason is I want to see how good the AnyBuilds freeware scenery looks. I haven't looked at it since I've come to Microsoft Flight Summer 2024. So as always, before we get into anything, we are going to check the weather. Okay, so again, we have that light rain coming in. We got that SIGMET creeping in, but that's over Iowa, so we'll be well and done with our flight for the evening before this even gets here. So we got some light rain passing through. I expect kind of some medium to low ceilings. So actually, let's look right here. Milwaukee is 2 Zulu. Yeah, so this is about 20 minutes ago. We got 350 at 5, so light winds out of that is northwest 7 miles, rain broken at 55, right? Not bad. Yeah, so just moderate rain. So that was probably when this cell came through. Okay, and let's look at the prog charts here. Oh wait, no, that's 10. Yep, right in between two lows, so maybe some light bumps on the way, some high misty clouds. We're going to be about 13,000 again for cruise, so expect the same clouds as before. All right, that is enough of that. All right, so before we get anything, let's go into import our new flight plan here just for this. Let's go ahead and put our, let's see, 64, 1, 2, 3, 4. Zero fuel weight is 58.2. We're at 58.1. That's pretty close. And we got block fuel is 65.73. So if you go to the actual flight plan, actually briefing details. Right, here's our actual fuel. All right, planned gate fuel is 65.73. Ah, crap, I messed that up. I was in the wrong box. What was it? 64. There we go. And then 65. You know, we'll just do 6,600. Set the payload. Boom. 8.5. We'll do 8 point. Nope. We'll just keep that here. All right. All right, let's get the box plugged in. All right, K Ord, K Milwaukee, K MKE. What are we? 55.22. Right, so we got our PDC, which is the same route we filed, which is good. So we've got a squawk of 4343. We'll expect 227 left at Tango Tango, which will be past our makeshift grass taxiway. Right. O'Hare 9 departure, which basically like cross these DMEs at this altitude, which we always pass in a jet, but so there's no actual chart because there's nothing to put into the PFD other than you could put range rings and just know the altitudes. So we're doing 27 left at Tango Tango. There is a distance with that. It's in the ATIS. So if we pick up the ATIS, right? has all this stuff, right? 3010, blah, 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 here's the thing. So if you go down and you say, where's the departure? Anyway, they usually put the amount of feet. For some reason, it's not in the real world ATIS. Department 622 left, 27 left. Oh, here it is. From Tango Tango, 9960 feet available. If it's less than the actual published thing, they put the published runway length. They put the actual length from that taxiway intersection, which is always usually enough, especially at O'Hare. All right, let's go. Here again, it's a vector SID, so Rainer. So as we know, we're going to go to legs here. We're going to go put our home airport, KDCA. All right, departure and arrival, 27 left, flight plan. Next page, Rainer. Of course. Let's go legs. Rainer. That's not how it's supposed to work. Bertman. But that's the CRJ for you in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I like it overall. The problem is there's just random bugs still, even on the V2. Airsoft's too busy making their other birds to care about my beloved CRJ. Alright, it's 7.6, saying 7 right. Let's see what the real skinny is at Milwaukee. Alright, they have this long, weird runway. 7 right would be this long runway here, which is fine. But let's just see what the weather is. Real world, broken at 55, 7, 6, 3017, ILS 7 right, and approach is in use. Alright, so that's what we'll put in. ILS 7 right. And we'll do it from just final. Easy. ILS 7 right. Vectors. Now this is where we want there to be discounts, right? So we're not going to clear them. All right, performance. We'll go down here. Runway analysis. 47. We'll do 1313. All right, 247 at 41. And +4 because we're flying the same altitude in the same area. So it's expected that it's going to be the same. I'm not even going to mess with that because I don't really care right now. But you would put your time in. All right, that would be your departure time. I don't care. Let's do, we'll put 0 to 35. What do we got here? 29, 30, and 40. Nice even numbers, pretty much. What was it again? 29, 30, and 40. All right. There we go. B2 plus 20 is 60, so now that we have that set, (3010) Now we go up here. $7.28. So we come down here, lights are set. This is set for now. That's on. Isolation valves open. Come across, cabin pressure we just set. Air conditioning's on. Pressurization's on. Anti-ice not on yet. Probes will turn on after. Good. Okay, cool. Now we come down. All right, so based on our PDC 5000, but there's also nobody on tower-wise, so I'm going to put 13. Okay. Then speed was 160. No, what am I doing? All right, we're going to do something kind of sporty when we leave here. So as we're going back towards the bay, we're actually going to do, whoa. We're going to do 093, which is downwind. Do a right downwind, so we're going to depart, go 400 feet, which is going to be, we'll basically say 1100, and then we're going to do a right turn at 400 feet. It's going to feel a little sporty and cool, but that's what we're going to do. Okay, and then we'll do direct rainer once we get established on downwind. Okay, that's our departure brief, by the way. Legs. Okay, I think we're good. Let's go do our before start flow. Beacon on. ACARS set. Okay, hydraulics on, boom. That's all set. Come over to the EFB. Aircraft, close those doors. That's removed. Toggle the jetway out. Normally I do it with GSX, but it's a little cumbersome with the CRJ. It doesn't perfectly work. I use NE2 GSX, which works pretty well overall, but I got to work some tweaks out for some other aircraft. Close, close, remove, close, close, remove, in place. But I do like its pushback. I think its pushback is awesome. I did. There we go. Nope, we're not calling any service. Nope. No, don't do any of that. Oh my gosh. As I say that, it's gonna be completely messed up, and we're gonna sit here and wait forever. Come on. No, catering truck, go away. Oh. GSX, sometimes I really hate you. Open. What are you gonna do, catering truck? Well, this will be fun. We'll just watch them do this until I can get them to go away. this is frustrating. Why does it have to go through this stuff? Do you guys want some sodas? Well, we were gonna push. I swear we're gonna sit here and wait for the stupid ground services longer than the flight's gonna be. This drives me nuts. I do like a cold soda from the drink cart though. We love potable water. Alright, now be done. Oh my gosh, how many stupid drink carts are there? Please be done with this. Can I make you go away? Please. Please do something that is not wanting to make me poke my eyes out. What does it want? Stop beeping. Closed. Alright. Please just go away and push the stupid plane back. Jesus. Hello? I really hate that I can't just override it. Like, that's really getting on my nerves. I don't want any of that. Freaking... Alright, you know what I'm doing? I'm starting the engines. And we're gonna power back out of the gate. I don't even care. That's what GSX gets for being a butthead. I don't want any of that. Go away. Alright, we're past 21. Well, that was going to be really cool. I do like when the pushback works, but I guess I did something wrong, and now I can't. I have to like wait for it. I guess I should have started the turnaround while we were doing it, or I need to configure it to where it doesn't go through catering and it goes through water and all that stuff. That should only be once every other flight. All right, we're started. Start engine 1. We're gonna go old school and power back out of the gate. Run. Yes, we're gonna break through a little bit. We're not gonna wait the minute we need between power switch, but whatever. First of all, is there anybody behind me? Alright, here we go. Alright, parking brakes off.
United 1754 O'Hare ground, make the left on Echo, hold short 4 left and say parking. United 1754, sorry I didn't catch your, where you like to park, Sagan?
We'll take it in 3 left.
Alright, Roger, let's see here, make it a little easier. Go left Echo, Romeo, Golf. Cross 27 left on Romeo, hold short 4 left.
That'll work for me.
Left on Echo, Romeo, hold short 4 left on Romeo,
What was it, 8.3, right? Or 8.5? Sounds good to me. 8.5 it is. I should have set it back to 7 after the last flight. Alright, so we'll go back up here. Everything's set on the panel. There's reversers, flaps, trim, that. Brake temp's good. That's in hundreds, by the way. Alright, 8. Alright, DC service can come on, down, taxi lights on. That can come off, probes, anti-ice, good, and dome light off. Now we make our call. O'Hare ground, Sky West 5522, information, nothing. Whatever the real world was, ready to taxi.
Sky was 5522 O'Hare ground, squawk 4343.
Okay, 4343 for 5522. Oh, I guess it is 4343. Oops. O'Hare ground 5522 ready to taxi.
Sky was 5522, runway 27 left to Tango Tango, taxi via Alpha Tango Tango.
Alpha Tango Tango for 5522, thanks. That's the route we just came in on.
United 1754, cross 27 left on Romeo, left Golf, hold short 4 left.
Alright, let's get out of here. Man, I'm kind of sad about the GSX. That was supposed to be way cooler. Oh well.
O'Hare ground United 293 vacated 27 center on Echo 2.
And I'm gonna taxi kind of fast.
3 O'Hare ground, continue Echo 2, Romeo, hold short 27 left, and say park.
Okay, continue Echo to Romeo, hold short 27 left, and now go to Charlie 17.
Roger, thanks. United 93, cross 27 left on Romeo. You're gonna go left golf and hold short 4 left on golf.
Cross 27 left on Romeo and Golf, and hold short 4 left for 293.
United 1754, cross 4 left on golf, then into the ramp.
Left golf down, golf
Dang, that Frontier is still there. We came in, had an intermission, redid everything, had a GSX problem.
United 293, cross 4 left on golf, then into the ramp.
Is that like a scene or
4
anything?
left on Golf to the ramp for United 293.
Yeah, this isn't really sterile cockpit procedures. I need to be better at it, but I'm interested. Yep, that's a guy for sure. He probably flew in and then just is still connected to the network. That's still funny though. Right, 29, 30, 40, 60s climb speed, V2 plus 20. Alright, so it's gonna be that next turn. Oh no, it doesn't feel like that's taxi light on, that's taxi light off. Doesn't really do much. Alright, here we are. This is Tango Tango. We're gonna get to the end of this and then do a 45-degree right turn, and that'll be our quote-unquote Tango Tango.
Skywest 5522, towers offline, CTAF 120.75.
2075, appreciate the service, 5522. There it is. Yes, we're totally taxiing across the grass. Alright, remember 400 feet, that's gonna be 1100. Alright, lights. Camera. Right, and action. Air traffic, Skywest 5522, departing runway 27 left at Tango Tango for a right downwind departure. O'Hare. Oh, we already passed it. just pretend we didn't do that. Hee hee hee. Okay, we already did lights, camera, action. We did our little pre-flight, or pre-takeoff checklist. I wish I had like a better way to show the checklist. I'm gonna work on that. Stand up to 70. And Toga. Rotate.
Minimums.
And positive rate.
Minimums.
Remember, we're putting the green dot on the actual heading, because the flight directors won't actually perfectly put it on there. And I'm not going to put it all the way down onto the crosshairs, because as we give flaps, it'll bring the nose up. Half the bank angle, which is going to be about 10. There we go. And we... Oh. Now we're down one. Be about at Rainer, so we're gonna go legs, Rainer, execute, nav, 1, boom. Our traffic sky was 5522 to Brian area to the north, last call here, bye bye. Putting the green dot on the white course line, but we're going to overshoot it just a little bit because our turn wasn't perfectly synced up the whole time because I was trying to change the radio frequency. And autopilot's on. Come off because that's on the gear, which is in the body of the airplane, so it's doing nothing. All right. 2C, but no, we're not in visible moisture, so we're fine. This is going to be a rather short flight, which is going to be interesting. We're going to keep the speed kind of slow for this because we're not really that far. All right. Look at that turn. Whee! And there's a little loop. Oops. This is where we're going. Oh, we got ground on, which is nice. 1, 2. What was that? 1, 2, 1.8. 121.8 is set. We'll do 290 in cruise. We have about 40 miles. There we go. Now we're in visible moisture. We have about 40 miles to go. And we're going about 6 miles a minute. So we have about 7 minutes. But even less than that till top of descent. So we went 2,000 or 3,000 basically. So we have 30 miles and some change. So let's do this really quick. We need our minimums. We need to brief the approach. Basically, it's 076, 29 at Bonout. Fidno is the final approach fix at 27, which isn't that bad. 929 minimums. BGLS ILS isn't coincident, 63, so we'll just be a little low on final on the lights. No big deal. 729 crossing heights 50. Any questions? Turn out and then you intercept this thing and then you go directly to Badger. Yeah, left turn, climb 29, left turn direct Badger, and then it will be a parallel entry. All right, cool. 929. $930. Will fix do a circle around it? Yeah, it will. Okay, and we're gonna do a 5. Yeah, there we go. So we'll go from Taze, we'll go direct to the field, and at 5 nautical miles, we'll just fly a downwind. Just to give ourselves some extra time. Alright, we're at 13. We need to come down to, actually, I wonder if it, in the legs page, if it'll let us put, there we go. Alright, we are 70 miles away. We want to be 10,000 feet, 30 miles out. actually 11, so yeah. So about, and we're going what, 6 miles a minute. So about 6 minutes. I know it says earlier on the PFT, but we're not going to use that. Let's do a different one. Okay. We're already inside that. That's weird. Why is it? Maybe it's on the other side is what it's showing. That's because that's not right. Okay, then that maybe we will follow that. All right, whatever. Yeah, let's bring it back to 250. We'll go straight to 3,000 feet. Do more than 3. To 4.57. There's 7.6, so this will probably be 2.56. Turned a little late, but we're still within 3, which is fine. 3 would be almost exactly there. Cheat out a little bit. Get us some space by the time we turn base. Milwaukee traffic SkyWest 5522. We're on a left downwind for 7 right, Milwaukee. We're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna go down to 27. Right. Okay. Cool. And then what do we hear? 63. 29. And then what was our weather here? Yeah, 0104. So we got 129 on the. What was that? 3015? Okay. 076, 076. Now let's hope that the ILS captures automatically better than it did last time. Turn anti-ice off. No, there's no ice. I don't believe you. Because this is our static air temperature. We should intercept nicely. Yeah, good rule of thumb for intercept angle is you put the bug or whatever the green dot is, which is your actual track, right at the end of the line. That's a pretty good intercept angle. Problem is it'll turn too fast because we now have a tailwind. But it's a light tailwind, so hopefully. Ain't no dang ice. Alright, whatever. And if you keep that green dot right on the, if you draw a line, if you keep that line right on the end of this line, you'll always intercept, but we're lagging behind, so we're going to actually blow through the localizer a little bit. But not by much. And there's the runway. At 1 dot, we'll do gear down. Milwaukee traffic, this guy was 5522. We're about a 7.5 mile final, 7 right. So, Milwaukee. And we'll go flaps. What is that? 20? Yeah. Interesting choice of what. Right, we're 1,000-foot minimums. We're fully configured. If you keep the speed right on the top of the bug, it's 5 knots. Milwaukee traffic, 5522, short final, 7 right, Milwaukee. Start walking that power back. Get back on slope.
500.
flying, dude. Get back on. Is
100.
the wind shifting on me?
Flight slopes. 50, 40, 30. Minimum 20. 10.
That was weird. Why were the minimums all calls all off? Yeah, a little dicey on approach there. I think we had just had some shifty winds. Milwaukee ground, skywest 5522, clear of VATSIM, right?
Stars 5522, Milwaukee ground to Welford to Milwaukee, sit parking.
Just any gate at the terminal.
Stars 5520, right? I don't know if it's a scenery thing, but are you getting off at, on Mike?
Yep, that's just should be Mike here. We're not quite lined up as it is on the chart, but I think it's. I'm not sure if actually on 24 if we have the any build scenery or the default.
No worries either way, but at O'Hare it's even worse. But none of the taxis are lined up. So you can taxi via, let's see, Mike Echo Echo 1 to the gates.
Alright, Mike Echo Echo 1 to the gates, skywest 5528. So I guess I don't have it installed for this because that looks really bad. So, okay.
And sorry, Stars 5522, you can cross 19 right at Mike.
Alright, 19 right at Mike, 5520, thanks. Yeah, just a little bit off on the bridge, just the last part. I think the winds were a little shifty, but then the minimum calls were all over the place. Right, we're at 700 feet, right? We should have been, yeah, it's 929. Yeah, like we're like close enough based on weather or whatever, but yeah, like calling minimums like right over the field, even though we were actually a little low on the glide slope, but we have the field, so it didn't really matter. That's another thing, is that sometimes the lights aren't even really aligned, so it doesn't even match the chart. That's why I always I have a picture in my mind of what it should look like, and that's what I follow. Which in the real world doesn't really get you far, but in the sim it tends to work out pretty well. You should cross the threshold generally at 50 feet as a rule of thumb. But in the sim, stuff isn't aligned properly, so I think for the next stream we're gonna do a Milwaukee turn, and I want to make sure that the scenery is right. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I like this gate. That's where we're gonna park. This looks good. What do you guys think? because I looked down here, we had like a crosswind from this way, and then a couple seconds later I looked and we had a crosswind from this way. So I'm wondering.
And all I could advise Milwaukee ground mount closing. Thanks for flying. Have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.
All right, folks, we have arrived. I guess the AP didn't start. Oh well, I don't really care. Anyway, that was a quick flight over to Milwaukee. A fun little flight. So anyway, thanks for joining me on the Thursday live on VATSIM. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you're watching later, I made some silly mistakes, like going too far on the taxiway and then just being a little off on the approach there into Milwaukee. But you know, either way, it was fun. We had some bad weather in Milwaukee, and flying in the bad weather is always more fun than clear weather. So anyway, thanks for flying. I appreciate it. Thanks for flying with me, and I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.